What is going on, guys? It is Austin FF8 here, or Luna. So I have this story. I haven't really done. It's not. It's a weed story, but it's not the kind of like. I don't know. I'm just gonna get into it because I know some people complain that I do too much weed stories, and the only reason I do a lot of weed stories is because I feel like those are the most interesting for a lot of you guys, and I don't want to like upset people. But I have this really cool like crazy story that I've been saving for a while because I don't really tell a lot of stories on here about security, and the security at my school are dicks, and like I have so many like occurrences with them, it's not even funny. But I'm gonna get into this story right now. So it's called running from security, or I don't know what I'm gonna call it, honestly. It's basically just it's about how I ran from security because we were smoking. But I'm gonna get into it. So this happened a while ago. Like, this is at the end of 8th grade, and I know I was really young when this happened, and it was at the end of 8th grade, and it was literally, like, no joke, 3 weeks before summer was gonna happen. So 8th grade, I was actually in a different school building than where I am now, and like the way my school works is there's a building with a middle school and a building with a high school, and they're attached by a bridge, and it's like a closed off square bridge. And I preferred the middle school a little bit more because they were more understanding, because you're just, you're kind of like a kid, you don't know any better, so if they catch you doing anything wrong, they just kind of ignore it. But the high school is a little bit more cracked down on weed and stuff like that. But it was easier to sneak out in the middle school because there was this door that led to the back property of our school, where there was like baseball fields and just a huge field, like just so much land that you could just sneak out onto and go find places to smoke. So me and my one friend, who I actually buy weed from in school a lot, don't do that, by the way. Don't buy weed in school. It's a bad idea. But me and my one friend, we decided that we were going to sneak out at lunchtime and, go smoke. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember what day it was. I think it was a Friday. I could be mistaken, but I think it was a Friday, and we were really excited for the weekend, and we were about to just literally skip, like just leave school at lunch, smoke some weed, and then get on the bus and leave, because our school days in the middle school were actually cut short. They would always, like the last few weeks of school, our school is pretty dope because we get to leave at like 1, I think. It's like in the middle school, I think it's 1 o'clock. And we were just like, yeah, we'll go smoke and then we'll get on the bus and leave. So we dipped. And the way we did it is we were in the cafeteria, and we like both like completely just walked out of the cafeteria. And I remember like the one of the staff members stared at us, but by the time like she was gonna come over to us, we were out the door. There was a door right by the cafeteria that you could escape out of. So we dipped, we went out the door, and then went out to the this like I said, there was a bunch of land, and there was a baseball field, and behind the baseball field there was a tree where you could just sit behind and be hidden from all the cameras. And it was kind of a dumb idea because they do have live security footage like of us doing it, but we were walking out, and I guess they must have saw us on the cameras, and I remember turning around. I turned around and I saw a dude coming out the door, and we didn't think anything of it because there was actually a janitor who worked. He would come out every day and like fix the plates on the field after like gym class and stuff. So we just kept walking, and I remember I kept turning around to see what this guy was doing, and he kept coming closer and closer to us, and it was to the point where he was getting pretty close. So I told my friend, I'm like, yo, I think that's a security guard. And he turned around, and he saw the guy, and he had like the shirt on that had our school's name on it, but we couldn't really see the back of him because we like on the back of their shirts or where it says security. So we couldn't tell if it was a security or not. So we started speed walking. And we started speed walking. The minute we started speed walking, we heard a radio go off behind us saying, oh, we got them, they're over here, they're on left field, blah, 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 blah. And we were like, oh my God, like they're calling for us. So the minute we heard the radio go off saying our names, we pieced. We just started booking it. We were running and running and running. And I remember going, I've never ran so fast. And like, it isn't even, like, I've literally ran from cops before, and I don't know why, but I just put all my effort into running from the security guard because I don't know, he was a creepy looking dude. So we went into the woods. I remember dipping, and then we went to the very back of the property, and at the very back of the property there's a line where there's woods, and we just went into the woods and hid behind a tree for a while, and we saw a bunch of people in the field looking for us. I remember once that happened, like the security guard completely lost trace of us. He knew where we went into, but he couldn't see like past. Like, he's not allowed to leave the school property, otherwise he could get in trouble because he's leaving where he works. But he called on his radio. He's like, they ran into this area, like it's not even our property anymore. What should we do? And they're like, all right, we'll try and get in contact with the police. And they weren't allowed to call the police because in my school, if you want the police to come and get you, they have to call your parents, and my parents don't really give a shit. They'll be like, no, you can't call the police, because my mom knows like I'm a crappy kid, and I'll run away sometimes, but I'll never actually like go out and hurt anyone else. So like, it's not a big deal. They never call the police on me. So they couldn't call the police, so they decided to give the security permission to go off the grounds and try and find us. So we kept running. I remember at this point, like, I remember because afterwards we did get caught. But the security came out, and then we saw one of them walk into the woods. And when they walked into the woods, that's when we were like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? Like, I see one. What should we do? Should we run because they'll see us? And we were trying to keep it as quiet as we could, because one like snap of a branch, he could have turned around and saw us standing right there. And he wasn't close enough to hear us whispering. He was pretty far, but one snap of a branch, he could have turned around and saw us from far away. So we were sneaking by. We were tiptoeing in our Jordans. We were just tiptoeing to the main road, because there's a main road through these woods that lead to a really cool burger place, and I've talked about it in other stories. So we went to the back of these woods really silently, and the minute we were out of sight, we fucking booked it. I remember running so fast, and at the end of the woods was the security car. Like, this is the worst part of the whole story. We ran out of the woods, and the minute we got out of the woods to the main road, there was a security guard waiting right there with a security car, and then there was a squad. Like, there wasn't a police car. There was two security cars, because our school is huge. We have over, like, I think we have almost, I'm trying to think of how many kids we have. I know we have over 1,000 for sure, and we have two buildings of like 800 people, so it's a huge school, and they have to have a decent amount of security. So when we got on the other side, like I said, there was two security cars, and this guy he got out of his car, and the dean of students was there, and he was just like, really, guys, like, seriously, you're leaving school? Like, the day's not even 30 minutes away from ending, and you're leaving school? And I just remember sitting there like, oh my god, great, we're fucked. And he asked us to get in the car, and I was like, we're off school grounds. I don't want to get in your car because I don't have to. And he's like, all right, fine, but can you at least walk back to the property? And honestly, guys, I didn't have to. He said, can you please walk back to the property? But since I was off the property, I could have just left. But I didn't want to give him a hard time. So I walked back to the property. I went into the building, and then immediately proceeded to the main office because security was waiting at the doors. And they guided me to the main office with my friend. And it was really shitty. I remember going with my friend to the office. They gave us a huge long lecture, and believe it or not, they only gave us 1 day of suspension, which is pretty funny to me because that's pretty bad. But like I said, the school really understands, and they're pretty cool about it. But that's basically it. It was pretty crazy. I don't even know what I'm going to name this story, but I think it's a pretty crazy story. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like, and leave in the comments below. I want to hear if you guys have ever been caught by security guards or ever had problems with security. But anyway, this has been Austin FFA or Luna. Peace out, everyone.